Hi, and welcome to Cosmic Consciousness with Cassia. On this channel, we discuss all aspects of the ascension process. I have a variety of services that I offer to assist in your awakening journey, and you can find those listed in the description box below. We're going to be doing the daily reading today for Tuesday, November 3rd, 2020. And today is the day that's ruled by the third eye chakra and guided by self-generation. And it is very appropriate, I would say, that the galactic signature of today is the blue spectral storm energy. So as you may remember, we are in the blue lunar storm year. And so we've talked about this blue storm energy quite a bit. There's actually an entire video on the blue lunar storm energy, which is the galactic year that we are in, that we began on the 26th of July. And so if you haven't seen that, I absolutely suggest that you check out that video. It's a dynamic galactic year that we are in right now, having just finished another dynamic galactic year, right? But this blue storm energy is all about catalyzing self-generation and energy. And it's this understanding as we master our own energy, as we come into this understanding of the power of our energy, of our thoughts, of our words, of our beliefs, and how we can harness that energy and project that energy with intention, right? We become this self-generating, catalyzing force. And so this energy calls us to step into our empowerment, to step into the eye of the storm, right? And to catalyze the change that we want to see in the world. And this is paired today with the spectral tone, which is all about dissolving, release, and liberation. So it's about dissolving all that does not work, dissolving our fears, any fixed concepts, fears, or habitual patterns that weigh us down, right? And so really getting at all of that, all of those belief systems, all of that stuff like we talked about in the reading yesterday, right? The stuff that clouds our lens, that clouds our vision, that clouds our mirror, about dissolving and releasing that and liberating ourselves from that. We liberate ourselves from all that holds us back, right? From all that is not working, from all that is not the truth of who we are and what it is that we intend. And then we become the catalytic force that generates that change. And so this storm energy is, as it says, right? It is that wild energy, that chaotic energy. But when we can move into that calm center of that chaos, we can then become a powerful force of regeneration and change in the world. This is the energy of knowing and owning our own power and utilizing that. Right? That's that self-generation piece, that self-creation piece, taking control as that conscious creator. And so this is really powerful and dynamic energy to be experiencing on election day. And so how can you be that catalyzing force in the world? That is up to each and every one of us to decide. If that means going out and voting, then go out and do that. Vote whoever your heart leads you to vote for, go and vote for them. Some people, they really are resistant to voting right now, and that's okay too, right? Wherever you are, be that catalyzing force in whatever way you can feel and you feel drawn to be that catalyzing force of change in the world today. But do it with compassion, do it with love, do it with peace and harmony, right? We really want to be, we still have this T-square going on with Mercury, Eris, and Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto, right? There's a lot of intense energy in the air, and we can feel that storm crackling, right? And so we want to remain in that calm eye. And how we do that, right, is by centering ourselves in love. It's centering ourselves in the truth of our hearts and radiating that outward and understanding and having compassion for each and every person and where they are at in their own journey, what it is that they are feeling, right? Just really sinking into that tolerance and that compassion today as we also become these conscious catalyzing forces of change, right? Change does not have to be violent. Change does not have to be abrasive, right? But change will trigger us sometimes, right? That is a natural part of this process. We are being triggered so that we can then look at what those triggers are, understand those triggers, understand what that's telling us, what wound lies underneath that, what fear lies underneath that. And then we take advantage of the spectral tone today, right? And we dissolve that. We liberate ourselves from that. So whatever is coming up for you today, whatever triggers are coming up, really look at that and read into that and understand what that is trying to teach you. The affirmation for today is, I dissolve in order to catalyze, releasing energy. I seal the matrix of self-generation with the spectral tone of liberation. I am guided by my own power doubled. And so this is an affirmation you can use to really tap into the power and the energy of today. As I'm speaking about this energy, I'm becoming extremely charged, right? Like there is a charge to the air today. If you live in the Northeast like I do, there's also an incredible bite to the wind. Like it's just an intense day all around. And so we may be feeling things very intensely. Fortunately, the moon is in Gemini still. The moon is currently in Gemini. At some point today, it will be transitioning into Cancer because it's in the final degrees of Gemini. So we will be going from this place of thinking into this place of feeling. And we may feel that energy coming in, right? As that emotional energy comes in the wake of this mental energy that we're feeling with this moon in Gemini, right? But we can take advantage while the moon is still in Gemini. This is the energy of curiosity. It's the energy of exchanging ideas and perceptions, of learning, of growing, right? Gemini is constantly digesting information and exchanging information. And so if we can do that from a place of love and compassion today, then this is a beautiful day to do that, right? But we really want to be cognizant of the energies that are present and how those may be affecting people, and to look at everyone as that aspect of ourselves, right? That to see the light within each and every person today, regardless of their beliefs, regardless of their triggers and their trauma and whatever it is that they're working through, right? We can see the light in them. If they don't agree with us, right? If their truth is different from our truth, their perception of truth is different from our perception of truth, right? We can still love them and have compassion for them and understand that they are another aspect of us having a different experience, right? We have these different perceptions so that we can have these different experiences. If all of our perception was the same, all of our experience would be the same, right? And Source wants to learn, Source wants to grow, Source wants to experience everything. So each and every one of us who are an aspect of Source are having a different experience, and through us, Source is getting to have that experience, right? So every experience is valid, every truth is valid, and if we can honor that above all else with each other today, that I feel that is going to be very, very important. And I'm looking over the aspects. Yes, we have the moon in sextile to Eris. So this feminine, this warrior energy is going to be extremely strong right now. We have Mercury squaring off against all the heavy hitting planets that we've been talking about lately, right? We have Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. And so our minds are going to be possibly at odds with many aspects of this process, right? Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto together have represented this process of evolution within us. And so we may be very much at odds with that process today, at odds with ourselves, right? And if we are at odds with ourselves, this may be reflecting out towards other people. And so we really just want to be cognizant of that today. Mercury will be stationing direct tomorrow. So we have that going for us. We're probably feeling the energies of Mercury slowing down, and Mercury will be standing still in the sky tomorrow before beginning to move then direct once again through those final degrees of Libra and back into Scorpio. And so we're going to have a revisiting of everything that we've learned during Mercury retrograde season as Mercury passes back through its shadow period, right? It's post-shadow. And another opportunity to see everything that we've learned, everything that we've been processing from a different perspective again, right? So that's pretty cool. It's all about perspective. I'm feeling perspective coming through very strongly today, and just honoring each other's perspectives, right? But also standing firm in our truth, right? This blue storm energy is not about catering to other people, right? When it compromises our internal truth, it's about living that truth, expressing that truth, seeing the change that needs to happen, and being that catalyzing force in whatever way we can. But we want to do that with compassion and tolerance, repeating that once more, because it is so absolutely important today. And every day, but absolutely important today. So we're going to read some cards here, see what the cards have to say, and we're going to start with the Angels and Ancestors deck and get some guidance here. Clear. What guidance do the Angels and Ancestors have for us today? Guidance from the Angels and Ancestors. Guidance from the angels and ancestors. Okay. Okay, we have Elder, move beyond ancestral patterns. We have Autumn, release the old and rest. And then we have Winter, Water Guardian, connect with your emotions. And then on the bottom of the deck, we have Shaylin, Master, be graceful in movement and action. Okay? And so there's a lot of this releasing the old, with this release the old and rest coming in next to this move beyond ancestral patterns energy. It's really this huge energy of releasing, like we talked about, right? We are breaking down all these old paradigms, all these old systems that were no longer working, right? We are moving into the age of Aquarius, right? That energy is going to be anchored in on the 21st of December. And so we're releasing a lot right now. And a lot of these are patterns that have been ingrained in our society, right? In many societies, across many cultures, these different patterns, these different ways of thinking, right? Of perceiving. We're breaking down all of that right now, right? Think of that spectral tone. We're liberating ourselves from that. We're liberating our ancestors from that, right? The things that we do are liberating them and their energy. And so we're liberating the entire planet, right? All of humanity. So it's really about moving beyond those patterns, looking beyond what we've been conditioned to believe, what we've been conditioned, how have we been conditioned to behave, right? What are those cultural norms, those societal norms that we've been conditioned into? And how can we move past those? In our own lives, whatever you've seen coming up repeatedly for you in your personal life is very likely, like whatever's being highlighted for you today, there may be ancestral patterns that you're working through as we heal ourselves of our patterns, right? Of these habitual repeating patterns that are not serving us. We are also healing our ancestors, like we said. So really noticing what those patterns are that are coming up for you today, I feel like, and really paying attention to that and how it is that you are being called to move beyond that. What are you being called to do? Not what does society dictate? What does your family, right, your heritage dictate? What do you feel, right? That's connecting with your emotions. That's connecting with your own inner truth and allowing that to be your guide. Like today is a day that it's difficult, right? Because the emotions are probably going to be running super high. And so we don't want to be reacting from an emotional place, right? This doesn't say react to your emotions. It says connect with your emotions. And so allow your emotions to be a guidepost telling you what is resonating with you, what is not resonating with you, what is triggering you, right? Pay attention to your emotions. Pay attention to what situations, what conversations, what thought patterns, right, are triggering those emotions. And then really connect with that and allow that emotion to exist so that it can be released. I'm feeling like there's going to be a lot of purging and releasing of emotion going on today for a lot of people. And so we want to allow that process, but we don't want to be like putting that outward onto other people, right? We don't want to be emotionally reactionary, but we do want to be understanding our emotions. We do want to be allowing our emotions. We want to be paying attention, right? That's it. We want to be paying attention to our emotions and what they are trying to teach us, right? And so this goes back to when we're talking about the traumas and the triggers and all of that and paying attention to that. You'll know when you're triggered because you'll feel it in your body, right? Your body will react to it. Your body will react and you will feel strong emotion come up. So when that happens, pay attention to what that is, right? And this is an opportunity to highlight some of these old ancestral wounds and patterns as well that may be coming up that we are moving through right now, right? So really working with that, but also like the rest piece is huge, right? This is the season we are in right now, autumn. It is that time of rest. We want to be beginning to slow down, to allow our bodies that process. And we really want to be giving, with all of this high voltage energy that we have coming in right now, we are purging, right? We are being prepared for a massive influx of energy on the 21st of December. And so as we're being prepared for that, we are requiring more rest. As these intense emotions are coming up, right, they are requiring us to rest, because it can be, when we experience this intense flood of emotion, it can be very draining, right? So we may be called to rest more just as that is coming up. And I want to see what it says for the elder in here too. I keep feeling like I want to look at this. But yeah. So allowing ourselves that rest process, also allowing ourselves to step back into that. It's like with all of this intensity of energy today, we may need that so that our nervous system isn't overloaded, right? So anytime we feel ourselves getting too worked up, rest, mentally rest as well, right? Take some breaths, do a short meditation, whatever it takes to bring the blood pressure down, to bring the heart rate, to bring all of that down and get us back into that centered place if we feel ourselves getting too worked up today by anything. Yes, and so the message for the elder is move beyond the limitations that have been set for you by family members, past and present. Know that the energy of your spirit is more powerful than genetics and behavioral patterns. Yes. The elder is the ancestor who comes with a message of healing change. He is an embodied soul, yet he has had journeys that go beyond the physical. Therefore, he represents a reclamation of power. When he appears, it's an acknowledgement that you have the capacity to move beyond the limitations that have been placed upon you. If you have had expectations of success, failure, sadness, or even sickness placed upon you by your family, it's important to know that you are here to create your own story. This card represents personal healing that will bring healing to your family lineage, past, present, and future. Know that you get to decide what you take on. And also know that your ancestors are rooting for you and are sorry for any setbacks they have created for you, right? We came here to clear this for them. And the easiest way, like when we look at these patterns, right? Our ancestral patterns, we see them first in our family lineage, and then that expands outward, 7 generations forward, 7 generations back, right? But it expands, and that's where we can see a lot of that playing out, like the core issues that we came to heal through our ancestral line. We can see a lot of that playing out in our family dynamics, right? So this is all about what was expected of us, right? This is when we talk about the conditioning, right? The societal, the cultural conditioning, who we were told that we were supposed to be, right? By these factors, and really breaking free of that, right? We are coming back into this also, this complete unity, right? Where we understand that we are all one people, humanity, right? Regardless of race, class, color, culture, heritage, all of this stuff. We all have an original heritage, right? Our souls have an original heritage, and we're moving back to that. So we're dissolving a lot of these barriers that get created, right? When we get too attached to any one cultural identity, when we get too attached to any of these outer aspects that are not the truth of who we are. And so we're healing that on a massive level as well. And we start it by healing that within ourselves, with our family, and then that radiates outward further and further, right? And as we said, all of the healing work that we do helps to heal our family, right? And so even for those who are having difficulties with family members right now, right? It's okay to release that and rest for a little bit. And it's okay to know that you don't have to see eye to eye. And the work that you are doing to heal yourself is helping them so much. So if there are family members that there's a lot of friction with right now, like that's okay. If you have been doing a lot of healing work, they may be feeling that, and that may be triggering them, and they don't even realize on an energetic level that they're being worked on as well. And so their stuff is coming up as well. And this is something that we have to be cognizant of, and we have to allow them the space to go through that, and just understand that whatever's happening on the outside, if they're disappointed in us, if we're not living up to their expectations of us, right? If we know that we are doing the inner work and we are moving into our own truth, that is helping them. And they may never realize that in this lifetime, right? But their soul realizes that. And your ancestors, dead and alive, right? Their souls recognize that. And those ancestors that have passed on are standing behind you and rooting for you. What you are doing for them by stepping into your own truth, by releasing these old patterns, this old conditioning, right? Even if it's not respected by everyone in the physical right now, is so respected and so needed. And that's why you came into this reality, into this family, right? For a lot of us, especially those who are regarded as the outsider or the black sheep type person in the family. Oftentimes that is the person that came in to do the heaviest healing for that family, because they are able to see beyond, right? To see a bigger perspective. They are able to see past the conditioning and the expectations, and to model truth and to break through those barriers because they're not as heavily conditioned by it, right? And so if you are that person, then know that the work you are doing is so profound, and it's okay. And if it's not being appreciated outwardly, don't take that to heart, right? Know that continuing to do your work and stand in your truth and break down these barriers and move beyond these patterns, right, is serving them so much in the larger picture that it does not matter what the relationship looks like in the shorter picture. And I know this is easier said than done for some people, but it is. I wanted to say it is the truth. I want to be careful of ever saying it is the truth, right? Because truth is so subjective. But that's what's happening. And then we have the be graceful in movement and action. So this is just what we were talking about, right? Tolerance, compassion, being the way that we are moving in the world, and really being graceful and being kind, and work and moving through the world today with integrity, with intent. And I wanted to pull a Lightworkers Oracle card as well for you guys. Clear. They were calling to me as I was shuffling the Ancestors and Angels deck. And then on the bottom below the Shaylin Master was trade or exchange energy to create abundance. So that's that exchange of ideas, that exchange of energy, that exchange in whatever sense that exchange may be taking place for you. Collaborations. I feel collaborations coming in for some people today, which is pretty cool. All right, 1111 messages in the numbers. Pay attention to the numbers, the synchronicities. They are guiding you today. If you are feeling lost, if you are feeling confused, if you are feeling almost abandoned maybe, right? I think a lot of us, some people have been getting to that place, just the intensity of the energy and this purging process that we're in right now is making a lot of us very uncomfortable and making people question everything, right? Including sometimes their connection with spirit. So spirit's saying, I'm right here. Pay attention. There are messages in the numbers for you today. There are messages in all different types of synchronicities. So keep your eyes open. Ask for those messages and that confirmation from your guides, from your angels, if you are struggling, right? If you are having that crisis of faith today. I feel like for somebody in particular right now, there is a strong message coming through for you, and that your guides are asking you to pay attention to the synchronicities that are being placed in front of your face right now. They're all around you. Open yourself up to seeing them, because they are trying to guide you. Whoever this is for, they are very strongly trying to guide you, and they just want you to pay attention. They want you to pay attention, and this is confirmation for you. If you've been noticing these things and kind of pushing them aside and being like, yeah, whatever. That's just a coincidence. That's like, I'm not even playing with that right now. Like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to see that. They're like, you heard it, you saw it. All right. Is the message coming through for somebody. That's why we wanted to pull that deck. That's wicked funny. I love when that happens. All right, and now we're going to do a couple Keepers of the Light cards, clear, and see what's coming through here. You heard us, you saw us. Now stop pretending like you didn't. That's kind of like what they're saying right now. Like, like they want to like that gentle, loving kind of like smack on the wrist or the hand. They're like, hey, or like maybe a smack right here, right? Like, wake up, hello, you see us. Don't pretend you don't. Don't pretend you don't hear us. And there may be something that you're being called to do, or something that you know, a path that maybe you know isn't right for you. And they're trying to show you that, or a path that is right for you, that they're trying to guide you down, that maybe you're resistant to taking for whatever reason right now. I don't know. I feel like whoever that message was for knows. I don't even need to go into what the message is about that they're kind of like hammering into you right now. Like, you already know. So this is just confirmation. This is just one more way that they're talking to you right now through me to let you know. Which is, oh, it's funny. They're so funny. All right, so we have Cernunnos, life force, express your driving passion. Sensual and sexual powers are increased. We have Joan of Arc, voice of truth. Stand strong, focus on your purpose, release the fear of persecution, and speak your truth. This is coming through so strongly lately. And Jwal Kul, Dharma unfolding. Remember that you are on a path. Take one step at a time to happiness. Your Dharma, your life path is unfolding, but in order for this life path to continue to unfold, you have to be willing to speak your truth. You have to be willing to stand in your power. You have to be willing to stand strong for what it is that you believe in and not to back down, right? To this, once again, for some people, goes back into this family and this ancestral programming and breaking out of that. This is cultural programming. This is societal programming as a whole. Whatever it is, however you feel as though you are limited in being able to stand in your truth and speak what's in your heart, speak what you know needs to be said. This is confirmation, like, do that. As you begin doing that, more and more is going to open up for you. Your Dharma is unfolding, your life path, right? Our Dharma is our purpose. It's our life path. That is unfolding for you right now, but it involves you being able to step more firmly into your truth. You have to, this is like an initiation almost, right? We have to show that we are able and willing to do that, because that is so very important right now. And it plays an integral piece in this Dharma unfolding, right? But this is also saying don't rush yourself, right? We had the autumn card, right? It's about rest too. Like, don't rush yourself. This path is unfolding for you, but you don't have to run 1,000,000 miles down it, right? We are moving out of the retrograde season, right? By the middle of November, Mars will be out of retrograde as well. Mercury, as I said, is stationing direct tomorrow. But still, right? This is a bit of a slowdown. Like, everything is not going to be accomplished at once, right? So it's just, what is that next step in front of you that you need to take? That's all you need to worry about, right? Don't think 10 million steps ahead. Don't be running down the path because you might trip, right? If you think about a hiking trail or something that's covered in roots, right? So if you're not watching where you're going, you are going to stumble and you are going to fall. So it's all about taking that journey slowly, paying attention to your surroundings, being present. If we're moving 1,000,000 miles an hour, we're not able to be present, right? We are missing the only moment that truly exists, and we're missing so many opportunities that exist within that moment. And as far as, right, happiness is a journey, not a destination, right? If we're not enjoying the journey, then we're missing the whole point, because we're just focused on the destination and we're never present for the happiness that is available in each and every moment. But also for some of you guys, like, that step that you need to take next, as you're taking one step at a time down this path, is to speak up, to speak your truth, to voice your truth, to not be afraid, right? We are conditioned to be afraid to speak our truth if it is not popular, but we must speak that truth. If it truly resonates with us, if it burns within us and it needs to be expressed, then we must give voice to it. We must express it. And yeah, our life force energy is going through a dramatic shift right now, right? And so as our life force energy is going through this dramatic shift, this once again brings it back to the rest. Get plenty of rest. Take care of yourself today. Self-care has been harped upon so much. It's so important right now. We have been taught this over and over again. And if we haven't, it's been reflected back to us that we're not taking good enough care of ourselves so that we can learn to take better care, right? We are going to be experiencing a renewal, a surge of life force, but we have to tend to that, right? We have to care for that and cultivate that in order for it to continue to grow and expand. And yes, as we expand our life force energy, as we express our passions, right? We speak our truth, we express our passions, right? Our sexual powers and sensual powers are increased as well. This is that Kundalini activation energy that I'm feeling right now. This is happening. This is beginning to happen for people. This will be happening for people. And this is once again a reminder to pay attention to that, right? And to understand that is our sexual energy, is our creative energy. It is the most sacred of our energy, and really honoring that and looking at that today and paying attention to that and how that is wanting to be expressed, right? And anyways, this has been a period, right, with the Mars retrograde, with a lot of these different planets that we've had, the Chiron retrograde, a lot of different stuff, right, where we have the Pluto retrograde, been looking at our sexuality and what that means to us and how we are utilizing that sacred energy within us. And we are going to be that energy is building up, and there's a surplus of that to use, but we want to use that constructively. And we want to really look at how we are using that constructively, how we are honoring that life force energy within us, and how we are spending and expending that. So, and then on the bottom of the deck here, we have Kali Ma facing fear. Major spiritual changes are unfolding. This is your chance to soar. Face those fears. Ask Kali for help, right? She will help you with that process. And Bridget, inner strength. Move back to wholeness. Recognize you have the power. So much about taking our power back, right? We take our power back when we face our fears, when we move through those fears, right? When we speak our truth. This is how we take our power back. And today, with this dynamic blue storm energy, it is all about empowerment, being that catalyst, being that force for change. We can only do that when we stand in our truth and we stand in our power, and we face all of those fears, all of those wounds, all of that stuff that's being triggered, right? This is all of those triggers. Face that. What fear is underneath that? What trauma is underneath that? There is almost always a fear or a trauma underneath every trigger. So really looking for that, asking Kali Ma to help you and to transmute that energy. That's what we're learning how to do right now, is transmute that energy. Yes. Yes. And then a reminder as well, Diana, focused intention. Think about what you desire. Set your sights high. Expect the best possible outcome. That is the closing advice for today. Whatever it is that you are debating, that you are thinking about, expect the highest possible outcome. Your expectations will be mirrored back to you in your reality. So what is it that you are expecting? What is it that you are wanting? Find and envision that highest outcome. Pray for the highest outcome possible. The best and highest outcome for all involved in any situation. What is for my highest good? What is for the highest good of all? Right? I was talking with this with my mentor yesterday, right? I don't know what that is, but spirit does. And so surrendering to that, allowing that, expecting that the best is always going to come, right? Those who expect the worst get the worst. Those who expect the best often get the best. So it's your choice, right? Like we always say, what are you choosing? I love you all so very, very much. I appreciate you. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. It helps these videos to get out to more people, right? Although we trust everyone who's meant to find them will. There are links below to donate to my channel if you feel so moved to do so. It is so very, very appreciated. I do personal readings. I do incredibly powerful angelic healing sessions and a whole bunch of other things. So check that info out in the description box below. Shoot me an email if you were interested in any of those services. Drop a comment. Let me know how this video resonated, how your day is going. I love hearing from you guys. I appreciate you all so very, very much. You are so very powerful, right? So embrace that, own your light, own your power, and be that self-generating catalyzing force in the world today, with compassion, with gentleness, with tenderness, with ease. I will talk to you all soon.